yourself, and thank you for coming, number one.
Well, thank you for having me.
And if you could just tell us, you work for the state park. Like, how did you how did you get there? Like, what were the things that you how did you go in a junior lifeguard program somewhere? Where'd you come from? Like, how did you get there? So if you let us know, give us that information.
I grew up in Toms River, so very local to the area. Swam for high school. All of my friends were like, "Hey, Island Beach is hiring. Let's all go there."
What high school did you swim for?
I swam for Toms River North.
Okay.
So we have a lot of North.
What was your specialty?
The 500.
Ooh, freestyle.
Yes.
Ooh, distance. Oh
Good
boy.
for the ocean.
Yeah, that's what I was. I was a distance. 500, and not too much 1,000, but 500. So go ahead. So you weren't there, and then
tried out. Didn't get hired at first.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Actually, a funny story here.
Go ahead.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
So, I wrote a letter to the captain, and by I mean I was 16 years old. My mom helped me. My mom wrote it.
Was the captainship at the time?
It was.
Oh wow.
We wrote this nice email. We sent it to him, and I guess one of the rookies that were hired dropped out, and he called me up.
Wow.
The position.
Wow, that's a great story.
And
Do you
Yeah,
remember?
it is.
Do you remember what you said in the letter?
I do not.
Or the email, I should say.
I
You don't
do.
remember? What was it, Chip? Tell us.
What'd she say?
It was very well written, and I was very impressed with the email, the way it was laid out, and how much she really wanted to work at the beach, and how dedicated she would be to the program, and so on. I was like, wow. This is pretty impressive. So she was the first one I called, and the rest is history.
Wow. So can you tell us about the first day, like the first day that you went in, and how it was, and what your experience was, and did it meet all your expectations? Well, you were young. You started with 16.
Yes, I started at 16. I was just very excited, and I had a lot of friends that were older than me that were rookies prior, so I kind of knew what I was going into. Didn't know the extent of it or any of the tests involved, but very excited. Went there the first day. Loved every minute of it. Couldn't wait to go back the second day. My mom used to tell me that she would think I was coming home from summer camp just because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
She used to threaten me, saying she was going to call up the state park and tell them to stop paying me.
I like that. That's great. So so you kept on working, and the first year, do you remember anything that any kind of rescue or something memorable, or the first time you got in a boat, or like what was something the first year that you could that's really sticks out of your mind that you remember? Anything?
We took our test right before 4th of July. So my first day actually sitting in the stand was on 4th of July.
Ooh.
And I just remember it being packed. The park had closed. And being on the stand is a completely different experience than going through that training. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's nice about the program that we run. You do get a lot of weeks of that training and the physical aspect of it and learning different scenarios, but you also need that experience too. So then being able to sit with other guards, we usually have 3 to a stand. So if you're a rookie guard, you get to sit with 2 older guards, and they get to teach you, as well as the officers will come down.
Yeah, one of the things that I try to teach the lifeguards, it's funny, you think about it, it's just to, because we use whistles. Everybody knows we blow with a whistle, and we get some of these new guards and go,
Yeah.
like,
well,
I gotta teach them how to, right?
What was
teach 'em how to whistle.
Give them. Liv can tell you what her first day of training was. What did we do?
What was your
first?
My first day, Cashmore tried to drown me, teaching you like what happens when you try to get a victim. I tell everybody.
Well, you know how I am, Chip. I'm like, well, the guys, I like these, the guy. If he's not telling you these guys are a little cocky. I'm like, all right, come on. There's this old guy, so I swim out there, crepity and everything, and then I get him out there, and
Yeah,
and then
like the rescue procedure and stuff, and then just tries to pull you under.
Right.
Yeah.
well, not
So we do a quick little, well, not a quick, but we spend a few minutes, a little bit of time talking to them about the program and what to expect and so on, and some nuts and bolts. And then what's the first thing you do after that meeting?
Get your whistle.
Right, and then what?
We go on a hop, we call it.
Yeah, hop.
What's that? What's a hop?
3 mile run.
Ooh, yeah.
Right out of the blocks, 3 miles, and then
do
what?
you run down because I worked.
Let her tell you. She'll tell you.
Tell me. So
Yeah, we start roadside, and progressively throughout the training season, I'll call it, we alternate sand road.
What's the first thing you do when you get down the Tices there, A7?
Yeah, so
The
about a
first
mile
day.
and a half down, we stop. We walk over to the bayside and we have them practice their whistles.
Ah, okay, good.
And
Good,
they
good,
realize that it's actually pretty hard. If
Hard.
you've never blown it before,
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah,
And they
yeah.
have a homework assignment. They have to go home, go in their closet, and practice.
In their closet. That's great. I love that. But it's really true. Like I'll get up there and I'll show the kids and I try to tell them you got to, if the wind's blowing you got to and I try to tell them, then have the other lifeguard stands blow the whistle. When you're sitting on the other stand, you should intuitively know, well, listen, the wind's blowing down that way. I got to help those guys out because their whistle is going to go the other way. And it's not just learning how to get that sound out there. It's learn how to get get the volume, but also how to get it out there and direct it.
Did you miss rookie training?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's one thing that I think if you poll most of our guards, especially when they come back the second year and they're not so as involved in the rookie training, they're like, oh, I miss it.
Yeah. So you learn to whistle. You're running. What about the board and the boat? Like, how'd you guys get into when did that all come about?
Well, usually in the morning we do the runs, and then we'll go onto the beach and we'll learn a new skill. We usually start with just free torps.
Okay.
We go into lines. We have a couple days of rescue boards, a couple days of kayaks, and then we get into the boats.
You guys push you guys have how are you on the board? So you guys push the boards. You have a protocol trip, or you just
we it's graduated. So their first couple of days we spend time talking about the water entry and practicing that, and then we go to the torps, both the can and the tube, soft torp, and then we progress to the boards, and they do a few things with the boards and the kayaks, and then eventually the boats. But it's graduated.
Right. Now, what do you think about swimming a rope can out? How you like that? Nobody likes that, right?
No, it's tough. And we make them swim it first without fins.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nobody likes the rope. It's especially you always think somebody's pulling it. So
Or you feel like a worm on like the end of a hook in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. The rope can is definitely. Then what the first year? Do you remember any big rescues or anything? Did you have? Do you remember anything, or for that matter, any year? Can you remember? We always like to get a story from one of our lifeguards. What went down? Can you remember anything or?
Well, I actually didn't have my first real rescue until my 4th or 5th summer.
Yeah.
And I was actually helping to train the rookie guards at that point. So we were all out there. We were probably about 50 yards offshore, and we were practicing non-equipment rescues just in case you ever get in that situation.
That's a good idea, yeah.
I look over about 10 yards to my right. There's a little boy struggling. Did exactly what we were training the rookies. Grabbed him, brought him in, and the rookies were just like, that's what we're supposed to do? And we're like, yes.
Yeah. So when you say, I want to dovetail that when you talk about a non-instrument rescue. So that's an interesting, you teach that. That's something that, we try to, we always say don't try to go in without something, but if you're a lifeguard and you're trained very well, it's certainly doable. Can you, one of you guys want to expand on that? Because I think that's a great thing to talk about. Like I say, for us, when we talk about the general population, we say, listen, never go in with a flotation device. And for that matter, if you can, you want to bring a surfboard or obviously something. But when I, like the pool lifeguards, and when they teach you the regular lifeguarding, pool stuff, it's grab somebody, bring them in. So how do you guys teach that? What do you teach them to do, and how does that? You want to talk about it a little bit? So what would, if you were going to train me or a rookie, new kids this summer coming in, how do you train them to do a rescue without any equipment?
Well, the most important piece is to make sure you don't get too close, because if you don't have any equipment or any barrier in between you, if they grab a hold of you in the wrong way, you might go down with them. So you want to make sure that you keep your distance. We teach them how to reach for the right hand and spin them backwards. We use our hip to kind of propel them out of the water, and one of our arms will be over on top, and we kind of grab them around their chest. And then we use our hip, use our legs, and we
the focus, as Liv pointed out, is to make sure that equipment is always better. But in our situation, we spend a lot of time training them on non-equipment things because of the nature of our park. If they go on a run down the beach, they could be a couple of miles down the beach and not have anything, any boogie board, anything. And so we spend a lot of time working on that skill.
Yeah.
Hoping they never have to use it.